Council meeting, which is July 6th, 7:30. Can we stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Newman.
Here.
Hakeem Jones.
Here.
Sonia Sanders.
Here.
Heather Lewis.
Here.
Rebecca Smith.
Here.
Thomas LaPera.
Here.
Derek Curry.
Here. Can we have a motion to approve meeting minutes from last meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Today, we did have an executive session in regards to real estate. Vice President LaPera, do we have any announcements?
None today.
Council, any announcements?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moman, turn on your speaker, please.
It's already on. The Help a Single Parent will be holding a fundraiser on July 17th at the corner, the parking lot on DeKalb and Marshall. I believe it's the Montgomery County Court parking lot. It's going to be a fundraiser. It's going to be a fish fry, and all proceeds will be going towards providing Norristown children with school bags and other materials to get them off to school. And they are also asking for donations. So if you know of anyone who would like more information, they can either see myself or Sonia Sanders. We are both on the board for Help a Single Parent.
What was the date again? I'm sorry.
July 17th.
Council, any other announcements? Seeing none. Madam Secretary, do we have any public comments?
Yes. Fernando Feliciano.
Stand.
Mr. Feliciano, can you give us your name and your address? And then
Yep.
you can start your public comment.
Fernando Feliciano Jr., address 728 Cedar Lane. On behalf of the Latino community, we'd like to wish Police Chief Mark Talbot a special congratulations and best wishes as he accepts a new role as Chief of Police in Hampton, Virginia. We would like to thank him for the hard work and dedication that he has given to the community of Norristown during his tenure. Throughout the past 8 years, we have experienced improved relations between our community and the Norristown Police Department. Chief Talbot's community policing strategies, open door policy, and willingness to listen to our concerns have given the Latino community renewed sense of safety and security. We live in an era where undocumented residents have been unfairly targeted and victims of violence and discrimination on many levels. We are thankful to have a local policing body who has stood beside us all these years, and we hope that it continues into the future of the Norristown Police Department. We want to congratulate the new acting police chief, Todd Dillon, and we look forward to continued partnership and collaboration with the Norristown Police Department. Just a few weeks ago, though, a street vendor was accosted by 5 police cars who made her feel like a criminal. To this day, she is feeling the trauma of this treatment she received from the police. This is not okay. This is not okay. Today, we ask City Council to provide an update on the search for a new police chief and hope and how to plan to keep Norristown as a sanctuary city. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Jasenia Sanchez.
Hi,
Yesenia Sanchez. I am a Norristown resident.
Ms. Sanchez,
We live.
get closer to the mic and pull the mic down, please, for us.
Hi, my name is Yesenia Sanchez. I am a Norristown resident. I live in 519 George Street. I'm an immigrant daughter to an immigrant parents from Mexico. I'm here today because I'm scared. I am scared for myself, my parents, and my community. The Department of Police Chief Mark Talbot has left us uncertain about the sanctuary provided to immigrants in Norristown. During his tenure, Chief Talbot has committed to not collaborate with ICE, a commitment that has fostered trust among many with the Norristown community. He also made genuine efforts to know us, our culture, and traditions to help rebuild years of mistrust and fear in community of color. We need to know, for the sake of our safety, mental health, and general well-being, that this commitment will continue during the transition period and with the new administration. And we ask for you to include us in the selection of the new chief as you guys did last time. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Nancy O'Sullivan.
Bless you.
Hello and good evening. I'm Nancy O'Sullivan, live at 1209 Markley Street. And I am here on behalf of other people in the neighborhood who walk primarily. I watch my grandchildren full-time, and many other people in the neighborhood do too. So I've talked to Public Works, I've talked to Traffic Safety, I've talked to Susie, who's been very helpful in Public Works, as well as Crystal, trying to figure out how can we get better way to cross to the park on Harding, and then also at the zoo, because it's not easy to cross there. There's no stop sign. So without going into all of these details, I need direction on who I can take this to that can help make a decision on where do we begin. For instance, I got a suggestion that I have to call PennDOT for the cutaways, to get an ADA cutaway. And then Public Works paints the lines in August, but they have to know what lines to paint, so someone has to make that decision. So I don't want to spend time with all the details. I do have many details, all the streets that lead to Harding and where the logical place to cross would be, but I need suggestions on who to go to do that. And I'd rather be proactive and prevent some kind of an issue happening with safety for people crossing with carriages, possibly wheelchair, walker. I know there's events at the park, and people have to park up the streets, so they have to walk down, cross that street. So that's what I'm looking for in direction on where to go. People have been very helpful that have talked to me, but they're not the decision makers on how we move this forward. And apparently the zoo has also brought this to the attention, the safety in front of the zoo, for people not only pulling in and out of the zoo, but also people that walk there. So there's no sidewalk between where Eisenhower is, behind Eisenhower School. There cannot be a sidewalk put in on either side. So you have to go up to Markley Street and walk around and then cross in front of the zoo. So without going into all these details, just I need direction. So I'm not really sure how someone would give me that, but I've left my phone number on that paper. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
John Coyle.
Thank you to the judge.
Thank you, Jessica.
John Coyle, 1328 West Main Street in Norristown. I'm here with some thank yous. I want to thank Amrinder Singh for his intervention on a property in the block that needed attention. And I want to thank Derek Perry for reaching out to JP Mascaro and getting me a trash container. I still need the recycles, and there are many people on the block who still haven't gotten them. So I do hope that, apparently they're coming. They just didn't have enough, I believe. Does anyone know that for a fact? With JP Mascaro? No?
We,
Well,
we'll make it happen.
okay. All right, that's all I have. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you. Great comment.
Jesus Peregrino.
Is there a Jesus here?
That's it.
That's good. Is there any other public comments that anyone has? You have an opportunity to come up. Step up to the mic, sir, please.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
Hi, okay. Hi, my name is Jesus Peregrina. I'm sorry for the delay, and I just wanted to point out my opinion about here lately. We have been listening to a lot of people talking about how like the landlords have been raising the rent for the community. In this case, I would say like all the community in Norristown. And, you know, I mean, a lot of people we've been seeing that is struggling here lately. And why? Because, like, they cannot afford to pay, like, more than what is, like the rent right now. And we talk about, like, you know, if people pay around, like, $900 to, like, maybe $1,000, and the landlords here lately been raising it up to maybe, like, $1,400 to, like, $1,600. And, I mean, me, as a member of the community, is, like, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Take your time.
But, like, I just wanted to make, you know, like, since I got here with my parents, I was, like, you know, a child. And I've been looking at, like, how, like a lot of immigration have become and being part of, like, the community, which, like, in my case, I work and I'm, like, thanks to my dad, my family, now I own a business now, but, like, it hurts when, you know, when you see people who just recently came over from another country, from another, you know, part of the world. And, you know, like, we're talking about the struggling that they're going to, and I don't know if, like, you know, if there's anything that it can be done to help those people. And, you know, just to, I don't know, like, finding a solution for that and see how can we able to help them. I'm sorry if I wouldn't, I'm not, like, you know, making myself to understand. I'm a little nervous, like I said, and it hurts me, you know. Just want to say this, and
It's fine. You did well. We understand what you know what you're talking about. We're sorry that you're going through that, and we'll look into it. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Does anyone else want to have a public comment? I'll give you the opportunity. All right, thank you. And now we're going to do the administrative oath of office for James McLean and Judge Scott. Want to come right here in the middle? It's a small room. We'll hear you.
All right, Officer McElwain, are you prepared to take the oath of office? Will you raise your right hand and place your left hand on the Bible? And repeat after me. I, James McElwain, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Charter of the Municipality of Norristown,
the Charter of the Municipality of Norristown,
and that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth
and that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth
and the ordinances of Norristown,
and the ordinances of Norristown,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
as a police officer for the Municipality of Norristown
as a police officer of the Municipality of Norristown
with honor and fidelity.
with honor and fidelity.
I do further swear
I do further swear
that I will uphold, obey, and enforce
that I will uphold, obey, and enforce
the law without consideration to a person's race,
the law without consideration to a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap,
handicap,
or disability.
or disability.
Congratulations, Officer McCain.
Lead us in Resolution 21-58.
This is your first time, I'm happy to do it.
That's fine.
I can do it, 21-2.
21-58, the motion to approve the annual payment of the police department's records management system.
The subject is motion to approve the annual payment of the police department's records management system, otherwise known as CODI. The purpose is to maintain the police department's records management system by approving the annual payment of $24,024.03. So the police department has been utilizing the CODI computer system, Inc. as its record management system since 2006. The municipality entered into a 3-year agreement with CODI Computer Systems, Inc. in 2019 for the years 2019, 2020, and 2021. Facts and issues, all police reports and intelligence information that support our strategy is stored in the CODI records management system. The system is vital to our operations and must be maintained. The annual payment is factored into the police department's budget.
Council, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to pass Resolution 21-58, which is to approve the annual payment of the police department's record management system for $24,024.03.
So moved. Second.
Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Valerie Moman.
Aye.
Hakeem Jones.
Aye.
Sonia Sanders.
Aye.
Heather Lewis.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Thomas LaPera.
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 21-58 passes. Mr. Jones, can you lead us in Resolution 21-60, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. Council Resolution 21-60 is an intergovernmental agreement and memorandum of understanding between the municipality of Norristown and the Montgomery County Correctional Facility. As you know, we are undergoing a massive renovation of City Hall, and one of the things we needed to make sure happens is that we could process folks for incarceration, et cetera, as a part of that while the building was being renovated. So we entered into this agreement, I want to enter into this agreement with Montgomery County, which is a long-standing process for them to handle processing for us until we have gotten City Hall renovated.
Council, are there any questions or comments? Councilwoman Lewis.
Yes, so I read that document, and at first it caught me off guard. I was like, what the heck? But so this is solely for the purpose of the renovation period?
Yes.
Because the county is undergoing a pretrial program that they are redefining and all of that stuff, and I just want to make sure that we are not getting looped into that
No.
inadvertently, you know, just because there's a lot of change happening at the county level and how they're handling their processing and arraignments and things like that that are also going to be up there at the county. So I just want to make sure that this is not something that's going to just kind of get absorbed and our folks are going to be processed up there.
No, we are building a beautiful new facility as a part of your renovation project. So as soon as that is built, we're bringing it home.
If you see anything that says pretrial program, access to booking arraignments and all that,
Understood.
Councilman Jones.
Yeah, I guess we know the county is a good 15 to 20 minutes up the road, depending on the time of day, it could be even more. Does this put any impact on, you know, inmates when it comes to the processing and the chance that they are released, that they can get home to their families? And I guess my next question is, you know, we have Plymouth Police Department, some other localities who might not be as busy. Have those places been looked at for partnerships?
Would you like me to answer that?
Certainly.
I've researched with Plymouth Township. Their cells are actually being renovated this fall, beginning in September, so they'd be unable to help us out. Upper Merion Township is going to be able to help us out with only temporary holding, say an overnight, where there's no processing and arraignment involved. The agreement we have with Montgomery County Correctional Facility is we take somebody who has to see a judge up there with a criminal complaint, or within 3 hours get a criminal complaint to them. They do the processing, the arraignment, the bail intake forms, all that. All we do is hand it to them, and they take care of everything. They take care of release up there. If they're going to be released, they take care of everything. I think Councilwoman Lewis brought it up with the new program. They are going to have people up there at the facility to do that. Okay. So we have no part in that. As far as transportation back, that is up to the county prison. That's already been explained to us from the warden.
and I would say that that's the assumption that just because you got arrested in Norristown means you're from Norristown. So that's not necessarily the case. So they may have to get back to Philadelphia, and they got arrested here in Norristown. So we don't provide transportation for that. But there's resources like the bail fund and other legal systems that they could reach out to that are also aware of at the system.
Council, any other questions?
If I could just add, this is only going to be, as Administrator Jones said, temporary. This memorandum of understanding is only for a year. And that's based on our projection of the completion of our detention facility. It's anybody that we would keep overnight and see a judge, do our own processing and arraignment, would go up there, and that's what the county would do for us. And they have no problem doing that for us.
Right.
Council, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to pass Resolution 21-60, which is an intergovernmental agreement and memorandum of understanding between the municipality of Norristown and Montgomery County Correctional Facility for temporary booking member of the Central Booking Center.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Merman.
Aye.
Hakeem Jones.
Aye.
Sonia Sanders.
Aye.
Heather Lewis.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Thomas LaPera.
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye. The ayes have it. Resolution 21-60 passes. Mr. Jones, can you lead us in Resolution 21-59, please?
Thank you. Council Resolution 21-59 is a request to council to authorize a resolution to enter into an agreement with CitizenLab. This is the result really of kind of years-long frustration in terms of trying to find a really good way to get citizen input, feedback, engagement in things that the municipality is trying to undertake. I had multiple conversations with Council President Perry researching some meetings. I guess maybe they did a presentation at NLC or PML, and he brought CitizenLab to my attention, asked that we look at it and see if this is a possibility for Norristown. So we, me and my team went, looked at it, actually got about an hour, good hour presentation on the process and how it works in Lancaster, who's actually currently using it. I think in one of 2 or 3 communities in Pennsylvania out of 300 in the country that are using it. And given the challenges we've had with getting feedback and board members, et cetera, we thought this platform would be a good opportunity for us to see if we can do some things with it, particularly because you have so many serious projects that are on the table now and are going to need public engagement, including what's happening with the new police chief search, state hospital, stormwater authority implementation, the implementation of the American Rescue Fund projects, and a number of those projects that'll come about as a body. I think council can recall that we're on board of about 3-4 years ago when you had your first ever CIP, $10 million council borrowed, asked for community input. I think there were 5 meetings, different times of day and night, all over the community to get people engaged. And up until I think it was next to the last meeting, I think Councilmember Lewis hosted a meeting over at Horizon Theater, and next to the meeting before that or meeting after that, I think it was a meeting after that, was the last meeting. To that point, we'd had about 5 people who had actually showed up and participated. And we just happened to be having a Citizens Leadership Academy the night of that one of the meetings in City Hall. And I think it was my class, and I just said, look, we're all going over in here and you all are gonna be participating in this thing so that we can get some feedback. And it was actually their feedback from that class that guided council and gave council input of what the citizens want. And we've had a number, as you know, of outreach opportunities, and folks still don't show up. We had the folks from Citizen Labs. They're actually out of town. They're actually operating out of, where is it, Kevin? I can't remember, Switzerland or something. Belgium, yeah. But we had them do like a brief video for you guys to see. So I think it's maybe 6 to 8 minute video for you guys to see how the program works. We're excited about the opportunity to try it out in Norristown. One of the features I like, that it can seamlessly put this information that we'll be sharing and getting input in English, Spanish, and a number of other languages simultaneously as we seek feedback, and then gives us the metrics that we can, with graphs and statistics, actually be able to give council real-time data on what public reaction is to and feedback is to what is going on. So there are a number of things that they'll talk about, your features that he'll talk about in this brief video. Kevin, if you'll tee it up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Gordon, and I'm going to condense what is usually a 60-minute presentation into about 6 minutes. So we're going to move fast here. In short, trust and confidence in government is low, and only 40% of residents at any given time ever feel heard by their local government. What's more, the ways to reach them are not efficient, and they cost time, resources, and of course, taxpayer dollars. This is where we come in. Through both our platform and strategic support, CitizenLab can simultaneously provide residents with a single source of relevant local information, give them a place to share feedback and discuss ideas, and help local leaders use that data to make more informed decisions. And, well, what do we mean by engagement? We're talking about everything from information, so getting the word out about upcoming plans, to surveys, polls, as well as open discussion of issues, like what should we build in our new park? We provide you with a toolbox of methods, and help you figure out which ones make the most sense to best understand residents' needs. And we've worked with over 300 cities around the world, including 3 right here in Pennsylvania. For example, we just spoke at a national conference about our work with Lancaster and how we combined online and offline engagement to increase participation from traditionally marginalized communities, getting over 13 times the number of residents from those communities to participate. In Philadelphia, we're working with a business improvement district in the South Street neighborhood to help them understand what makes their community unique and how they can better tell their neighborhood story. This work will be used in everything from street pedestrianization as well as economic development plans. So now we're going to hop over to the demo itself. Okay, so you now should be able to see a sample page. You'll notice it's white labeled. The idea is that it looks and feels local, so it'll align with other Norristown digital properties. And the whole platform was designed to be mobile first, meaning it works just as well on a phone or a tablet and does not require downloading an app. This is really important for communities that do not have reliable or regular access to internet in their homes. If I scroll down here, you can see a couple different projects. The first one I'm going to jump into is ideation. So here is an example from Raleigh, North Carolina, and the city is asking for resident feedback on how to redesign their park. It's super open-ended. It's a super open-ended question, and residents actually post their own ideas. Within each idea, if you scroll down here, you can see within each idea, residents can then not only upvote and downvote, but also comment on their neighbors' ideas. And so if I wanted to participate in this, I'll need to sign in. So why don't I do that now? I'm going to sign in as a moderator or as an admin, so just to save time. So you can see now my upvote goes through, or I could leave a comment here or upvote a comment itself or respond directly. And this can happen on each of the ideas that are submitted. And if I scroll down here, you can also see different events. Each project can be tied to a specific event. And so cities often use the platform as a way to drive residents to attend relevant local meetings, in person or online local meetings. And it creates kind of a virtuous cycle where a little bit of asynchronous engagement encourages live or real-time engagement as well. So now I'm going to show you another type of project. We're going to go to a survey. And so this is a sample survey about a metro extension in Los Angeles. And as you can see here, we provide access to and integrate with the best survey platforms on the market. As you can see here, our integration with Typeform gives you access to beautiful and engaging surveys that allow you to ask a variety of questions. Now we'll show you one more project type. Let's take a look at mapping. So here, and again, you'll recognize all the projects on the platform have a similar and kind of reliable structure and setup. Here, we're asking residents to pin their ideas on a map. And again, with each idea, other residents can vote on them or provide additional feedback in the form of a comment. This type of participation method is really great for mobility exercises as well as improving the local built environment. One more thing I want to show you. We're going to take a look at Lancaster's platform. And what you'll see here is the whole platform, including comments and user-generated ideas, can be translated seamlessly between English and Spanish. And this way we could have residents, no matter what their kind of primary language, able to communicate with one another, even if they couldn't do so in real life. Now I'm going to take you to the back end of the platform. This is where Norristown officials would really be working, doing a lot of the work in managing and making sense of all this feedback. So here you can see this is a data dashboard. It helps you kind of make sense of your data as well as demonstrate impact and ultimately make more informed decisions. You can see I can sort it by time, I can sort it by project, I can look at the data in different ways. It can all be exported into Excel or dropped directly as an image into a report. Over here, this tool, the users tool, allows us to do things with groups and helping to segment and focus on specific demographics within Norristown, as well as create private spaces for them. These tools, smart groups tools, help you ensure you're reaching everyone, not just kind of the loudest voices in the room. And last thing I want to show you are our online workshops. This allows us to merge live and asynchronous feedback. The left side has the best bits of Zoom and Teams, and the right side has all the different engagement methods that you're used to seeing on the platform. So now you should be able to see me. This is really great for advisory meetings, focus groups, and of course, any online event. You can see here, we can ask and answer open-ended questions. And other users can vote on this. We're currently in a breakout group. This can all happen live in real time. And of course, we can download all this information back into the platform. And the last bit is, so you have the platform. We also have kind of support services. And what that means is that we'll work with you and your team to think through the strategy, outreach, and approach that good, necessary to run effective engagement projects. We know good engagement requires more than good tech, and we can help you design and launch not just a platform, but a broader approach to better reach and learn from your residents. In conclusion, our platform will help Norristown better convey information to residents, better understand those same residents' needs, and ultimately make smarter decisions to better meet those needs. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to working with you all.
If council were inclined to support this, then certainly we've got enough registered users in the package that certainly would be operating out of my office. Planning would have, recreation, any department really could launch a series of inquiries, projects, et cetera, information gathering related that we could give you much better information, we think, in terms of what the public feels and that they're saying about what's going on with any project.
A question. So is this similar to the Norristown app where they would have to come on and register or not?
No, it's not an app at all. You don't have to download anything. You basically, you can get on it on your phone if your phone can get to the internet. You can download and go to the site and do it. But you don't have to register. But you certainly would. We would encourage it because what you're doing is once you log in to comment on something, we capture that information of who's out there, who's doing it, what they're saying, and we can then, like you said in the video, we can then, knowing who those registered users are, we can, like if you said you wanted to, you got a Hispanic group that's formed, and they were just like this group here that was here tonight. We're interested in, we've got some concerns about the police or the policies or whatever. You can target that group specifically to give them information, share that information in their language, but it doesn't necessitate anybody.
So a follow-up question, then that means that anyone, whether they live here or not, will have access to it and make any comments that they want at any time.
They might be able to do that. I think I'll have to. I think we asked that question, and I think there's a way to, as you start making the decisions, filter it out in terms of whether these are really actually Norristown.
It would be good if there's a way that Norristonians can make their comments instead of people who do not live here to make any type of negative comment.
Councilwoman Smith.
I could be wrong, but I was looking at the Lancaster site last night, and I think you have to put your city to comment. I think I didn't actually go through the comment process because I wasn't commenting on anything, but preliminarily I looked, so that might help there. But my question is, I mean, I think the platform is beautiful. I love the features and the translation aspect, but the question is, what's the plan to make sure people go to the platform and participate?
Well, that's part of what it is the technical assistance they're providing. Number one, we are, we're going to have projects. We're going to want feedback. We're going to want to get information to you guys. And part of what they do is being on this platform, they give us technical assistance in how to get people engaged. And so that'll be part of what the service is that they're helping us with an engagement strategy. So we're going to be obviously using all of the tools we have now about what's going, how we reach people, social media and all of that to drive people to utilize this service. And it's just going to have to be tenacity that does it. I think that this thing that made it most attractive for us was at least we get real data and information we can capture compared to what's happening now. We just don't get anything that we can capture and bring back to you in any kind of organized way.
Councilman Jones.
Yeah, I have similar concerns to Councilwoman Noman. When we get the trolls and the anonymous people, I think whoever's monitoring this will probably have to have the capacity to do it. I think of the Ring app, and I think of Nextdoor sometimes, how one thing can just spiral, especially if it's something negative that happens. So, but I think it's a great platform. The language, the accessibility. I don't think we can't throw it on just one person and hope that.
No, it's not. It's like I said, they're going to be multiple users, but we all in every department we have things that we want to get public engagement on. And we're trying to get in front of you guys to help you make decisions. And one of the things that we like about it is that we'll be able to say, hey, we put this survey out here. We put this thing out here. We've gotten these ideas from residents who are commenting on it. And you'll be able to see it in real time, what they're saying and how it's trending. And if there's bad stuff going on in terms of it, we're just putting projects out there for people to comment on. So it's not a blog for folks to just throw hate at us. It's us trying to get real engagement.
Councilwoman Lewis.
I ditto those sentiments immediately. I started thinking about the safety controls and just how information can go haywire. Again, to Councilwoman Smith's point, I am definitely overloaded with platforms and remembering how to, log in. And again, I mean, it's as a writer, it's taxing by nature to be able to put these things up, but also too, engagement. I would think, and maybe we might want to think about it because $16,000 is a lot of money. That we can still provide these meetings via Zoom, and folks were engaged, and we had an increased participation rate. I mean, most of the folks had left already, but most of the folks that are in this room are folks that will be in this room every other week. And so I think still providing that Zoom platform, and then maybe start to integrate that feature as part of that Zoom platform, if there's some integration there, because you already got those people there, they might be able to, the ease of being able to do it in real time since it's the conversation. I just know having to go to something, Amrinder, I never use the code link. I text Amrinder directly. I'm like, I can't think of what that thing is. I don't know where to go. I don't know I forget how to get to it. So I'm just like, Amrinder, this is it. Yeah. And he responds. So I'm like, you just need to text Amrinder. So for me, I'm just speaking for me. I know I'm overloaded with all the technology that's going on right now to think of another platform to have to learn how to use and navigate and remember how to get to it. If you don't save it, it doesn't pop up, and all these kinds of things that, just try to simplify it for folks that when they're there, that's something that they can access.
And that's a good point. I think the asynchronous nature of this kind of engagement is the fact, and he kind of spoke to it in the presentation, is that, yeah, you actually do integrate this. You can integrate this with Zoom. You can integrate this with other platforms. So it's not that we would give up that. It's not that we would give up even having live meetings. But, and most of the work part of this is really the team staff, the administrative work, in terms of getting you guys the information that you need to make. It's us having a tool to pull that data, pull that information, and be able to give it to you guys in a condensed fashion. So it's not you, unless you're just interested in seeing comments, having to weed through it so much as it is us being able to manipulate the software to say, hey, okay, here's a question that, you know, we put the control of the question, the survey, or whatever it is. Here's a question. Here are all the answers and responses to that question. And it comes down to 95% of them said they wanted this, or here's how it's trending, et cetera, based on that. So it won't replace Zoom at all. It's just an enhancement to what we already do, both live and remote, if we're going to do it.
So, sorry. So I know that in the past, and I don't currently know what code enforcement status is in terms of customer service. I know we spoke a little bit to that during the retreat, and I know that we were unhappy with the satisfaction, and I know that there was some backlog. So keeping that in mind, and maybe Amrinder, you can tell us where you are exactly in terms of the backlog, in terms of the calls being answered. So if we do add this feature as well, and if back then we were short-staffed, how will this work out and play out then in just per se your department? I know that each department would be different depending on what their workload is like and whether or not they have backlog. So that would be my only concern, is how we would work around if a department has a backlog or so.
I mean, I'm going to certainly respond, but again, this is not the kind of tool that is supposed to replace or be the full-time tool for anybody. It's another tool that we have in our toolbox to use. So it would be, Andrew might have a project that he wants to get feedback on from the community, and about, or from the realtors, or from whatever group, about some idea, some piece of legislation the council might be interested in putting together, rather than planning a meeting to go somewhere and hope some people show up. You create this link, you send this link to folks to say, hey, we've got this out here, comment on it, and it gives us all this feedback. And again, I think that the part of it I like about it is the technical assistance that they give us in even saying, so what would be the best way to get the kind of information we looked at based on our community, based on what information we're trying to get in front of council. So, if it becomes something, it wouldn't be something that is an everyday add to everybody's workload. I think it's just a smarter tool to be able to replace a lot of legwork, groundwork to do something that we always hope we'd be able to do, to be able to know what people are thinking and be able to get it in a way that's much less labor intensive than trying to know it now. It's really labor intensive now, trying to get public input.
Councilwoman Muhammad.
Yeah, I just have one more question, because it sounds great. The only issue that I'm thinking is that Norristown is a different animal in terms of, if there's a major snowstorm, if there's a sewer issue, that's when everyone comes out. So my question is, do they have a track record of working with different animals like Norristown in order to say that, yes, we know that you have a problem with getting your residents to have some input, unless, like I said, something major? Do they have a track record, say, with one or two other cities where they had the same type of issue that Norristown has without having the masses involved? Because this would work, I think, if people would use it. But I don't want to say, let's go ahead and spend that money, and they don't have a track record of being able to have their ideas and their tools that they use to attract people to it.
So this isn't going to replace anything we're doing in terms of how to get feedback or feedback we would get about snow or anything else. This isn't going to replace any of that. Now, folks, we might want to know, for instance, how do you feel about the snow issue, the last snow issue, and how Public Works did or whatever, and you take all of that feedback. But while it's live and while it's happening, everything that we always do to respond to snow issues and all of that stuff.
But I was just using snow as an example.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but we're gonna use the tools we already have. This is just an added tool for us to get data and information for you guys.
I get that, but I get that. But if people don't use it, then we're up the creek. Well, and so my question is, can they tell us that they've had other communities where they were successful in getting the residents to use this for the purpose that we want to use it for?
So
go ahead.
So I was meeting with Mayor Soering up in Lancaster, which is a community just like ours, based just like ours, and the same thing was happening with her in regards to community engagement. Her biggest thing was her police department. And so what she started doing was implementing this, and she started getting feedback in regards to her department and what specifics that was going on up there. This is who I actually talk to, because I'm like, they're the same community as us, very diverse. They're bigger than us, but when it came to engagement, she was getting the same kind of engagement we were. And that was the biggest thing with her. Now, once she implemented this, now her engagement got bigger to where people started using the platform. And it's up to us too. Like, let's be clear. When I look on Facebook, I'm getting all that information just like you guys, right? Where when you're from Norristown East End, Northern Norristown. I'm seeing all of this information, and I'm responding to it, but I'm responding to our directors, where now we can use this platform to get all of this information out, like, we got a contract with Mascaras, or we're doing this with stormwater, right? No one's coming, and that's probably, I don't know how frustrated you guys are. I'm frustrated with the community engagement, and this is what this platform is for.
I can tell you, from having managed 2 counties in 3 cities, Norristown is not a different animal when it comes to public engagement. Okay. I mean, it's not. I mean, the public typically doesn't bother with local government unless local government bothers them first.
Right.
Give me a ticket, don't pick up my trash or whatever. So they're not gonna engage. So I mean, in all the places I managed, it's a similar thing. I mean, I've been doing it so long. This didn't exist back in the early days of my management, but it's just one of those things. For me, I look at it just like when I was sitting in the city of Savannah back in 1983, and we got our first computer, and we all stood around it and did, and it's a new tool to work with, and that's it. I think, we're looking at a year trial. If it doesn't work and if it's not going well, we won't continue to do it. But I think just having something that gives you guys some analytical information for decision making is the thing that was attractive, and I was glad that Derek
pointed me in the direction and for us to get a chance to look at them.
Is there a trial period at all? Like, can we do 30 days and see, and even to ask this question, is it something that you would use and put it out to the community and see how they respond? I mean,
I don't think it's worth it to them to do a trial period. And I mean, and then honestly, in 30 days.
I think financially to us it is.
Yeah,
It's
but I think in
$60,000
30
for
days.
an online platform that is not replacing
30
any
days
system.
may not be enough.
Yeah, in 30 days, you're not gonna learn a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I think what's getting ready to happen with all of this stuff that's on the table with you guys, I think once it gets in there and you start getting, you're gonna be wanting folks to comment. And if you got a spot for folks to comment on, specifically what you want them to comment on and specifically what you need to hear, that gives you guys a leg up on some pretty massive decision making you got to make in the next several months.
Vice President LaPera.
I'll just say, we all were here when the sewer thing went down, and we all got hundreds of emails and stuff like that. If we had a platform like this where we could have just directed people to say, hey, this is the project per project basis, here's your sounding board, let's hear it. And then it collects the data for us, that's priceless. You know what I mean? So
True.
I'm for this.
Any other questions, council?
I just didn't hear what Amrinder was going to respond to, the question that I posed earlier.
So I would have to.
And I get
agree-
that it's not replacing anything, but I'm still just curious.
Yes, so I mean, I agree with Mr. Jones. This platform is strictly for community engagement, and it wouldn't replace our current request tracker that anyone can log on to and make any type of, complaint or concern, share something, bring something to our attention. That platform would still be there. This is, one of the things I saw from the video was, I know this is something that Mr. Jones and I had discussed previously, was we wanted to start having some more codes related, community meetings. So with that Zoom or other online platform capacity, we could have that live meeting, and during that time, we could be polling our stakeholders at the same time and asking them questions, and they would be able to share that feedback with us. And I think that's what the strength of this platform is. We'll be able to get all of that information that sometimes people may be hesitant to share with us, face-to-face or on the phone. They may be able to share a little bit more directly online. So I agree that this would definitely help, at least in the code department, and like Mr. Jones shared with planning and other departments, it would help with their engagement as well regarding, what ideas and thoughts other, community members have regarding any project or, thing that the department's currently working on. So.
Council, any other questions?
If we like it, is that $16,000 a year?
1 year deal.
So if we say we want it for 5 years, do they give us a discount?
I'd certainly negotiate it after we did a trial period.
I mean, if it's all that and a bag of chips, then we may want to, or you all may want to.
And we took.
I would like to see how it goes first before we had an additional 4 more years. 1 year, no.
We just took the middle of the road project package. We didn't try to take the superstar package. We took the middle of the road project package to give us a chance to look at it.
Council, any other questions or comments?
Are we permitted to ask a question?
No, not during the meeting.
Right.
Sorry. Thank you. Can we have a motion to pass resolution number 21-59, authorizing a contract in the amount of $16,200 with CitizenLab for community engagement and communication? Madam Secretary, can we have a roll call, please?
Valerie Moman?
Aye.
Hakeem Jones?
Aye.
Sonia Sanders.
Aye.
Heather Lewis.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Thomas LaPera.
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye. The ayes have it, and resolution number 21-59 passes. Mr. Denningboe.
Good evening, Council. Public Works has really been very busy, but the major things that we're doing here, I'm going to summarize them. We are constructing the new temporary southbound somewhere on some bridge. I believe that right now we're probably going to be about 50% complete. We're waiting for the scaffold. We're doing this in-house. So hopefully, if we're able to get the canopy, not the scaffold, the canopy, if we get the canopy, which will be arriving towards the end of July. So if we get the canopy, I think we'll be able to wrap it up by the end of this month. So that's what we're doing right now. We are working with Mascaro to see improvement in our solid waste collection, and it's a challenge. And I need to say that even though that we're putting much more effort than we've ever done before, and Mascaro has their own challenges. I really think that the major problem they have now is actually finding people to do the job. There has been so much turnover. Let me even talk about supervisors. We started this new contract in April 1, and between April 1 now, they have gone through 7 supervisors. So I really think they're having problems with actually having staff to do this job. If you look at the trucks right now, we created 3 routes instead of 2 routes that we used to have, because we want this job to be done faster, and then for them to actually address issues. And that's why we had to put 2 supervisors. And right now, they cannot even have 2 pickers. They used to have a per truck. What they do now is that 1 truck per picker, and they picker. So it's really a challenge. But again, based on the number of calls we used to have, and compared to the costs we have now, it's probably the costs have gone down by more than 95%. But we are working extremely hard to be able to achieve this. It's a lot of challenge.
What percent was that?
95% in terms of the calls. Calls from residents complaining about solid waste issues. The calls have gone down by 95%. But the main reason is that there is just so much effort. Every day I had to check to know how many trucks came in. I had to check to know how many people are picking. On weekends, I have to drive around chasing them all over the place, knowing how many trucks that came. So we are putting a lot of effort, but the costs have dropped by more than 95%. So that's a lot of effort. There has been so much work on municipal right of way. It's a challenge doing this job, and I really appreciate the patience of our residents. Most of these projects are things that must be done. Most of them are projects that are done by PICO, because we have a lot of old gas lines that are leaking in our community. I make sure I work with PICO to make sure that they do not cause extraordinary inconvenience to our residents. I drive around to make sure that everything is ordered, so that's going well. There's another phase of this job that will be coming up soon, probably in the next 2 weeks, is restoration. So what they've been digging up now, they will start repaving them. So that will equally be a lot of challenges, but I'm trying to let the council know that we are ready for them. And we've been getting a lot of support from Mr. Jones in terms of the supervision, so he allows us to drive around. And so that makes a lot of difference. We've rated all the alleys. The last time we rated alleys in our community was 4 years ago. We've now rated the alleys again, so we know the alleys. Our alleys are rated on a scale of 1 to 5. We did it in-house, and we will be paving those that are still rated 1. So that's another project we'll be embarking on soon. We wanted to start striping the community. This is the usual time that we usually stripe our pavements. we've had challenges getting paint. I found out that most of the paint, road striping paint that are produced in this country come from Texas. And because of the freezing they had in Texas during the winter, it's affecting the production of paint. I don't know how it's linked, but all our sources of paint, we cannot get paint. The earliest we can probably get paint, they say it's going to be sometime in September. So that is affecting our schedule for pavement striping. I think we are doing well with the parks. The parks appear to be in very good shape. We are maintaining what's there and mowing. And I'll be ready to answer questions that the council will have.
Council, any questions or comments?
Comment. Oh, I'm sorry.
Councilman Jones.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, thank you for the report. Appreciate the work you're doing. And while I was out this weekend for 4th of July, and it was a really good experience in Norristown for those that have children who are taking them to the park. So you did see a lot of happy people, a lot of safe people at the police department, and appreciate it.
Councilwoman Moman.
Yeah, I kind of ditto what Councilman Jones is saying, but also I was at the park and I saw some folks from your department actually walking around periodically picking up trash while people were there, and that was very impressive, because back in the day, I think what I didn't see was that, and we saw a lot of trash at the end of the night, but they were doing this periodically. I'm like, oh. And actually, one of your employees said, if there's anything you need, let me know. And so I think that goes a lot farther in our community when people see that Norristown is out there trying to really assist before something happens. So, good job.
Thank you. I'll let the guys know. Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
I just have two things. Well, obviously you heard Mr. Cole talk about not having trash cans on the 1300 block of West Marshall Street, the gentleman right here in the blue. And they continue to not have their trash, even though the last time that we did have a conversation with Mascaros, they definitely said that every trash can was accounted for. So hopefully we can get that done. And someone brought it to my attention in regards to the 600 block of Violet Street. There is a tree that is hanging out in the middle of the road that people have to drive around. They just want to cut. And I thank you guys for always just doing a great job. I know it's not easy. You know, we're trying to change the culture, and we definitely appreciate you guys doing that for us. So, thank you. Council, any other questions, comments? Thank you. And last, Mr. Jones, administration.
Get you all out of here in short order. Just a few things I want to share. Renovation, City Hall is moving along fine. You know, they're doing the jail part now and putting up a new Sally Port and all of that. So it's progressing fine. I have been spending some good time with the team looking at ways to do some value engineering in terms of bringing down costs. I know I got something I signed off the other day that we brought costs down by about $181,000. So we're continuously looking to see if there are things that the architect did that, well, we don't really need it to do it that way. And the architect's in agreement as well. So that's going along. It's moving well, and it's just going to pick up. Stormwater Advisory Committee, you know, I know we've gotten a couple of applications in for people who are interested, so we did put out that advertisement looking to see. We'll get, as soon as we collect all that information, we'll get it to you guys, and hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have the information to you in advance so we can possibly seat that. I know in order for us to register the authority, we do need to have somebody who's going to be on there as you know, incorporators of the new authority. So that's why we're trying to move that along. The other reason we're trying to move it along is that, again, and I'll talk about it a little bit, it's part of that American Rescue Plan Act money. Stormwater is one of those things we will put in front of you in terms of giving relief to citizens through some offset of costs related to that, and being able to get the Stormwater Authority on board so that they can start having community meetings with residents would be great. State Hospital project is also moving. We continue to have our monthly meetings. We had one today, Jane Cal and I with them. Their schedule is moving fine as far as demolition is expected to, as they said, they'll start by the end of the summer. They expect to start that demolition. FYI, we have started a separate group of meetings with the county in terms of getting them off of the premises. Their lease expires December 2022, and so we've been having some conversations with them about that. And Manny Capoletti's office are also involved in those meetings, and we had our first big meeting with the county a couple of, I guess maybe 3 weeks ago. We've got another one coming up in the next week or two, and made it clear that the council's position was, and I'll say Matt Bradford did a good job of making it clear as well that they got to go, and they know they have to go, and they say they know they have to go, and I made it clear I wasn't interested in bringing any deal things back to you guys about extending time. So, and I think Jane was there. I think we made it pretty clear that they got to go. So, as you see, the two you can talk to, if you need to nudge them, to keep them nudging them. But so far, so good in terms of it. I know the state has put in some money in their pot of money to help them relocate. The county's kind of disputing that, but I told them that's not our deal. I don't care. We just December 2022, you got to go. So that project is moving along. We started our CIP budget process now to get some things in front of you guys within the next month or so to get the CIP budget updated. And, I guess I'm dying. Get the CIP budget updated and adopted. I'll jump to this the American Rescue Plan Act money. We've been, Jane, Kathy, and I have been really trying to do research about it. We know that there are certain items we know that are good in terms of you being able to. It is our intention at the next workshop meeting to kind of bring you a package of things that if you were interested in pulling the trigger, and all of these things like parks and stormwater and some other things, certainly reimbursement back to the municipality. All of it's designed so, one, you don't have to raise taxes if you reimburse the municipality for what it lost. Two, you have 6 parks, not including Riverfront, and certainly they should be considered Riverfront and Elmwood Park, that it seems to be eligible for use to update those parks. So there's some opportunities. So we're going to put some numbers and some information about some potential uses that if you wanted to come out the box with the bang, you have the opportunity to come out the box with the bang for that. Police chief search is the last thing. I shared with you that as of last week, we had about 33 applicants. We're at that point now. I'm supposed to talk to Safe Cities tomorrow, where they're starting to put together the logistics for candidates who look decent in that 32, a little group of them, to kind of give some video profiles that will be ultimately shared with you guys. It's still open, so we're not closing it until you've actually really gotten to the point you know who you want to, and we'll close it. We'll keep pulling folks in. I'll put out put together, based on the conversation tonight, I'll put together a memo for the community, a statement for the community to give to President Perry to look at, because one of the points that is important to be made is that the ICE policy is actually a council policy, and the chief is carrying out your policy. It's your policy that, and I think folks need to know that the council's policy was not to cooperate, and chief absolutely supported and agreed with it. But to just assure folks that this council has changed its policy, you know, you're looking for what you're looking for. And so we'll put something out to kind of help with that. Other than that, I think those are the things I wanted to share for tonight. I'll be happy to take your questions.
Councilwoman Lewis.
I have 3 questions, and totally, well, not totally unrelated to each other. The Kennedy Kenrick property, I saw there's fairly large trees being cut down. Who's cutting down those trees? Because I'm pretty sure we haven't even done land development or any approvals for that project yet.
That's actually, I'm sorry, Council President, that's actually PennDOT.
Okay.
The widening of 202 is going on. I think that was approved maybe 15 years ago. So that corner is going to, they're taking quite a bit of that as a right of way. And you may not recall, but when Sarah was presenting her project, she mentioned it.
Okay, that was gonna be a.
Yeah, she mentioned.
Okay, so they're aware that they may be losing a portion of it.
Yes, they were.
Okay. And this is for Mr. Jones.
Bingo.
Oh. I'm curious, since we kind of talked about the zoo and so some crossing issues, the $1 million that was supposed to come back from the building of the parking lot, that's sitting in the bank?
No, because you haven't actually sold it. Yeah,
they built the parking lot.
No, it wasn't for that parking lot.
It was for the next one.
No, it was for the parking lot, the ball field.
Okay, because I saw, like, we had conversation like 2 years ago about they've cut down the trees and they've been doing some stuff.
When they're ready for that parking lot, and they're ready to assume that parking lot, what you agreed to was that you're ready to sell it for the $1 million.
Okay, so where are we at in that timeline?
Al has actually approached me now saying that they're actually reaching capacity again already.
Okay.
So he approached me. I asked Crystal to put the meeting together to have a conversation, and they're putting their money together to come bring a check. I mean, you've done all of the legwork for it now, so it's just a matter of doing the final execution of the deal, because state, the county, both who had put money into it have approved it, are going to allow us to use the money for open space. So.
Okay, so you're going to get your curb cuts. And last question, which kind of is in, the entertainment tax.
That's, yes.
Yes, because when was it enacted? 2013, 1987, something like that, and it's has not been enforced, and so we got such pushback, and that has not been highlighted in any of the report, at least not that I recall, where it says, oh, wow, we got $3 million. You know what I mean? So where are we with that? Are we enforcing it like we should be? Like, we took the heat for it, so we need to be enforcing it and reaping the benefits. Again, that offsets the cost to our taxpayers. So this is something that we need to make sure that that's being followed up on.
So nobody was doing anything during COVID, and that's why it's been pretty quiet. But just the solicitor's office and my office have been working. We actually got some assessments going out now to folks who should be paying now, but now that we have actually recovery. And so we've been working, especially Sean's office, I was working with our tax collector, send out those assessments and start that process.
Okay.
We haven't forgotten it, it's just been...
So pre-COVID, can we get some pre-COVID numbers?
I don't know how far back you can go pre-COVID.
I think it really started enforcement not far before COVID started.
Right before COVID started,
Okay, I'll be looking forward to that.
Oh, yes. We're looking too, because we agree.
Councilwoman Moman.
That's good money.
So now that you're talking about PennDOT and the widening of 202, this is directed to you, young lady.
Yes.
The Tiger Grant for 202.
Yes.
What's happening with that?
So the Tiger Grant changed, and it's now called, I think, RISE or something like that, under the Trump administration. If you recall, when we went for the Tiger Grant, it was a $15 million deal, and we had PennDOT basically pledge half because we needed 50-50 match. Well, PennDOT has since moved on, and now there's a new program through the Biden administration. It's called RISE, and now it's saying they do an 80% federal, 20% local, or rather non-federal. We had hoped that we could use the ARPA money to do that, and they sent us a very quick, no, you cannot do that. And we were all celebrating, but they were told we can't use that.
Right.
So it's part of the capital improvement, the budget. That's one of the items we have on the list. And it's incumbent upon us now to look at PennDOT again to see if they were willing to do that. Are they willing to do it? Will be much less now than when it was. So, yes, that is going to be part of the ask in the capital.
And it actually was 80-20 on the Tiger, but
oh, that's true.
Right, Leslie.
Yeah, she gave us 50. Yeah,
so
really?
she offered 50. It was
Right.
80-20 then, but she offered 50,
That's
and
true.
the governor agreed on the Tiger. So, and as you recall, when we had this tour with Congresswoman Dean, we had a conversation about that again and her support for that as a part of the package that we in the county would be sending up and trying to move forward as part of the infrastructure package as well. So
Okay.
it's definitely not off the table. in
Okay,
terms of
good.
discussion.
And one other question between the two of you. I don't know what you call it. I don't know if it's Riverfront Park, not the one up on the west end, but the one down by Lafayette Street. What's going on with those people who own those properties down there by the railroad tracks and?
Washington.
Yeah, Washington, right. Anything happening?
I'm still trying to figure out where you are.
The warehouses.
The waterfront. The
Riverfront redevelopment.
Oh, you're talking about the feasibility. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay.
There has been inquiry. There have been about 2 serious inquiries. There's someone coming down on Thursday to take a look, first-hand look at the properties. They're familiar with the feasibility study, and they're interested in purchasing. But that's a deal that has to be between them and the private owners, since we don't own anything there.
Right.
So we cannot participate in that discussion. All we can do is just let them know, this is our vision, this is the feasibility study we've done. We've done a lot of the legwork for you. Now you take it from there. Now once they're able to negotiate with the owners and they're ready to come with agreements of sale and they want to meet with us, to give us a vision and tell us what they're planning to do next, that's when we engage them again.
So then, if that's the case, then that means that could take, it's going to take a long time anyway, years anyway. But if we have nothing to do with trying to get them together, is what you're saying, it could take decades.
Well, we've been getting them together to have the discussions, doing the free, environmental assessments on the project through the grants that we have. So we've gotten them together and got them having the conversation about it. And so, but the issue of sale of the property, that's the kicker, and that's something we can't get in because they're gonna sell how they want to sell. If people inquire with us about who are the owners, we're gonna say, here's the list of the owners, go at it. But we can't say you should.
They
sell.
are inquiring though with you?
Yeah,
Yeah, 2 serious inquiries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Councilman Jones.
Yeah, I have 2 things. So this downtown area has a lot of homelessness, some drug use, some occasional violence, things like that. There was a large stakeholder meeting that I was told, SEPTA, MCIU, Norristown Police, the mental health community, Your Way Home. Was there a large collaboration, and are there some steps being taken? Because I think about CHOC closing in 2022. Are there plans in place to try to help this region and locate housing for some of the folks down here?
So one of the first things that we did when we got engaged with that conversation, because it started really because of what's happening on SEPTA property. And SEPTA, their approach was initially kind of like, Norristown, what are you gonna do? And I know Police Chief Talbot got involved in it. He and I had a large discussion about it. It really boils down, you got a police force. What are you gonna do? And our cops, you know, do support what's going on out there. We're gonna make sure people are safe and they respond. But you know, the first response that Chief Talbot, who has been engaged, he and their team been engaged in those meetings, and I have too, was that first of all, you have, you know, it's on your property, so you're not gonna pull us into being the bad guys by doing some mass eviction of people. We pointed them to the county and Your Way Home and said, these are the folks you need to engage, and we'll participate as we have in that engagement. But it really is Your Way Home now. SEPTA has started some separate conversations with Your Way Home and the county. And what I reached out to the COO about was, okay, I know that they're looking to engage you separately, and I think that's fine, but we need to stay in the loop, because any decision that two of you guys make needs to be something that's acceptable to council in terms of any impact offload. As far as the state hospital site and what's going to happen when that closes, that's again part of what the county's responsibility is, and we keep insisting, that's part of the discussion we had and continue to have in our meeting. It's not a Norristown, it is not a Norristown homeless center. It is a 5-county homeless center. Right. And so you got to involve the county, and you guys, like I said, you got Norristown got 20 million plus. The county got 161 million in rescue money, and part of what we said in that meeting with the county, you got $161 million rescue money, and Lee Sotiza, you know, that's their wheelhouse. Homelessness for Montgomery County is their wheelhouse, not ours. So what he did tell me was, in terms, they are focused on looking and finding another place for all of those folks to go to. But in terms of managing the process of addressing homelessness in Montgomery County, and that's where I keep saying it, stop being homeless in Norristown. I mean, all of these folks are not from Norristown. So homelessness in Montgomery County, they are doing some special project management team that they're going to put together to use their money to do that support. And my conversation was that if council decides that they're going to direct any funds to that, to make it much more cost effective and much more beneficial. One, if council wants to do anything with that, we do it through you guys, because you're the one, that's your wheelhouse. It's not ours. You got the staffing team and now way more money. So you know, I'd propose we leverage them, but they know it's their issue. As far as what we're doing on the street and, you know, through our various departments, we still continue to do the same things. We're using the quick rapid response folks to direct them to services, as we always have, and that's not going to stop. But what I've said to the Health and Human Services Director, Tara, as well as to the COO, you know, we're not going to treat Norristown like Norristown is the homelessness issue. It's a county issue, and you live here too, and so you got to take a more active role. So I think they are, in terms of finding. They don't have a choice, because they're going to get an eviction notice at some point in this process. Speaking of which, some other agencies are already starting to get their they got a pre-notice of eviction, so I don't give you all a heads up that there might be calls and stuff coming. They've been notified that, hey, remember you're supposed to leave. This is the pre-notice to get that going, because the next notice will be time to go. And I think those time to go notices they're looking to put out in August.
Just one more thing, and this is really important, Bishop. You know about the major accident today on the corner of Main and DeKalb?
I heard an accident. I did not
Major
look into it.
accident. So, since I worked there prior to the pandemic, there was always screeching, always something. And today it was major. And I think I talked to you, Crandall, well over a year ago about signage on the corner of Main and DeKalb. So I wonder if there is some type of study that can be done, because I tell you, one day there's going to be a truck that's going to come right into our door. And it's just, I don't think there's enough signage up there for no turn. We have cars coming down DeKalb Street.
I actually witnessed that 2 weeks ago on my break.
They're going the wrong way on the one-way.
Oh, wow.
Come down and then you have cars coming up from Bridgeport who will make that right-hand turn while there are cars still coming down. And it's just a really big mishap waiting to happen, bigger than today. So I was wondering if we can look into it, because I don't want to be sitting up in there one day and a car come up in that office.
I think one of the things I point out, absolutely, but one of the things I point out is you guys got a major decision you got to make about that corner. And a part of that decision and the work around that is going to be traffic study.
Okay. Well, let's get on it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and so all of that will shift as a result of that.
Council, any other questions? Thank you. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Adjourn.